Today, we're going to share with you 3 spy shots and 1 big announcement from Tesla. First, we finally have a photo of what looks like a heavily camouflaged Tesla vehicle apparently driving in the streets of Los Angeles. This may be the more affordable vehicle as it looks lower and shorter than the Model Y, perhaps a hatchback. Second, software developers looking at the new Tesla app update have found code that shows our Teslas might soon have Robotaxi functionality built in, called Project Alicorn. Features include confirm pickup, enter destination, pull over, and also smart summon without requiring continuous press. When the time comes that regular Tesla owners can send their cars to the network, we'll be ready. Third, spy shots over Giga Texas show photos of at least 305 of new castings that appear to be front underbody castings for the CyberCab. And finally, Tesla announced a new vehicle for sale, the Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive, now available in the US. With a starting price of $44,990, with the incentive, you can buy this for just $37,490. We'll compare it to the legacy Model Y. And we're going to ask Brian White to do that comparison. Welcome, Brian.
It's so exciting. The Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive is gonna sell, but these are all good topics. Let's get into it.
Well, not just the Model Y rear-wheel drive, but maybe the more affordable vehicle that Tesla said they're going to launch the first half of this year, which means that it's either this month or next month. Check out Brian at his channel, FutureAza. He does these deep dive interviews of the vehicles, but also the factories. And he travels a lot. He's the only place you can go to find these great shows about China. He's going to Mexico next month. Thank you for doing that, by the way, Brian. Appreciate
Next
you.
week, yeah, it's gonna be
it is
next
next week,
week. I'm in Mexico. If you're in Mexico City, by all means, reach out. Let's talk about your EV adventure. Yeah, what are we starting with?
Yeah, we're going to start with this. You tell me what this is. This is a photo that was shared with Omar's catalog. He shared it. It's apparently spy shots of this vehicle, and it looks like a Tesla because they confirmed that it has the B pillar that looks just like a Tesla. And it looks, I don't know, you tell me, but it's heavily camouflaged. Here's the photo. It's in Los Angeles. And most people, including Grok, when you ask them, what is this? They think that it's more likely going to be the new, more affordable vehicle. Looks like a compact version of it. What do you think, Brian?
I think people have been clamoring for one thing for years, and that is a factory installed mattress holder. And we finally got that. So that's what people really, that's what the masses yearn for. What we know is Tesla loves to, when it matters, go all out on their camouflage. Look at what the CyberCab looked like when we got spy shots of it from drones outside of the Warner Brothers studio. It looked like a yellow El Camino. And if you go back and look at it, you can see where that CyberCab hides underneath that skin, but none of us could have predicted that it actually looked like the.
Oh, you're talking about the yellow one, which was the CyberCab. When you look at that, but you would never have guessed at the time. But now you go, okay, that was the CyberCab. Yeah.
So what is this? Because this isn't like on the factory grounds, I wouldn't have confidence that it is a Tesla. If Grok says it is, I have more confidence. But and I don't know how you could spot the B pillars from here. I can't see, but that's fine. The fact that it is so heavily camouflaged, that's not like LiDAR testing equipment for ground truthing. They don't put camouflage on that. This is something. And road testing is what we would expect to be seeing really before now. But when it looks this weird, this different, I'm not surprised we wouldn't have seen it. I don't think anyone would have connected those dots.
Yeah, it's actually more odd if we didn't see it. That's what we've been saying for months now. So we'll finally see some sort of camouflage vehicle. And like you say, is it a Tesla or not a Tesla? But I think that the person who took it said that they feel it is, but you never know. This is just random guy. We don't even know who took it. Could be all fake. But it is something we're expecting. It does look like a compact car. That's what we're all expecting. So it's maybe we're headed in this direction. We'll see very soon. Here's the thing, though, Brian. I mean, this really is May already, first week of May. It's supposed to happen in the first half of this year, which is the end of June, right?
Within a month. Well,
within a month. So are you expecting a big presentation? I asked that question, and most people are saying absolutely, because this is a large, it's going to be a lower, more affordable vehicle, Tesla needs to come out and do a big presentation, not just not just a regular, here's a new rear-wheel drive Model Y, and they just post it like they have with that.
They could do either one. I expect fanfare. They don't need fanfare to sell a more affordable Tesla, uh, but I expect some. I don't expect them to pull an Apple and spend a year planning an event that's going to impress even convention organizers. But Tesla can pull something together in 2 weeks, as they usually do for such events, that will still be pretty magnificent. They could do it anywhere. They could do it in a large parking lot. They could do it, I mean, in a any place, and it would still have the fanfare. Just got to get the right people there. And when it comes to the right people, well, I know someone who'd like to go. But
Yeah, you do. You're going to get the invite. You will. Okay,
yeah.
so that is, the other last question on this one is, does it matter that they're about to launch Robotaxi in June? Robotaxi is going to launch, and according to Tesla's account, they said June 1st. I mean, they made hints saying how many days away is June 1st. Well, why would they say that, right? But if
Yeah,
it's June 1st, so we're talking 3 weeks from now. Are they going to overlap with each other? Are going to be what are they going to do?
I am awfully curious. It was pointed out we haven't seen a new major build of FSD since November, and we know that that is not the pace of innovation with FSD. I think what they're doing is putting a nice gap between versions for us, so that when the new version comes, we can genuinely say, "I think not. I think it's better, but
That's done.
this is, yeah, done." Or the other day I had an instance where I was in a parking lot. I said, "Take me home." And it went a direction I wasn't expecting. It was going to loop out and back through the back of the parking lot to the other road. And it turned, and then, but the gates closed because it's too early in the morning, and it pulled out. I was like, I'm going to have to take over. No, it did a 3-point turn and rerouted me. And I just, wow, look at you go. This is
Pretty good.
okay. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Well, so there's a next story here is software. So we have these software developers that look at the software that Tesla's about to launch and update our software in our cars and our apps, and they found code, and that's
Mhm.
pretty interesting. This is a big one. They found that this new version was an unexpected big one, and they said it has robotaxi functionalities fully baked in. We'll take a look at that closely. They apparently calling it project name Alicorn. Smart summon without continuous press is coming soon. Live activities coming so soon. I don't know what that is. Switch to GRDB for more locally done actions for faster app, whatever. So let's take a look at these features. First of all, an alicorn is a mythical creature, specifically a winged unicorn, a creature that combines the features of a unicorn and a pegasus. Okay, that's what an alicorn is. So it's a magical, powerful creature. Maybe making a joke that people thought it'll never come. It's mythical. Here it is. But let's take a look at the features. Quietly prepping for launch next month. So it's got confirm pickup, enter destination, fasten seatbelt, pullover, emergency help. These are all things that you would expect if you had a Robotaxi app on your phone. But here's the complete list. You can enter destination, arriving time. You can close the trunk. How is the ride? Fasten seatbelt, cancel pickup, pull over, trip summary screen, outside service area help, emergency help. That's the full
Those
list.
those are
Yeah.
great. Well, I think I'm gonna be sick. What do I do? You click pull
Mhm.
over and you get sick.
Yeah.
That's something I hadn't thought of, but something that needs to be there. I had one comment the other day on YouTube that I thought was pretty interesting. Someone said, what if someone, not me, but what if someone summons a cybercab and a Model Y shows up and they don't know how to open the door?" That
Mhm.
is a real problem. In the boring tunnel, they've got little stickers on the window that say, push the thumb in, just
Mm.
push it in, and then open the door. And I've seen Uber drivers who have the same thing. I've seen fleet operators in Europe who have presenting door handles that they retrofitted onto the car to make it more apparent to people who've never been in one. And uh, these sound like big problems, maybe. But what I said is, wouldn't couldn't the app just show you an animation of how to
Yeah,
open the
there you go.
door while
Yep.
it's on the way? I mean,
It's not going to be a big deal. Yep.
we've got some of the smartest people in the world on this project. I am not concerned with those things, but these are all things that we haven't seen yet. Um, tell it where to park. That is not complicated. It is a tiny step from clicking on a parking spot and it parking like it does now with SMAT Pack to get it into a situation where it can do that automatically.
Yeah, with the pullover, it was actually there when I actually did was an 8/8 or 10/10 October 10th at the We Robot event, and I did a ride with the CyberCab. On the screen, it actually said cancel
Hmm,
ride
hmm.
on the screen, and my counterpart with me both decided at the same time we were driving along. It was driving us to the next destination, and we said, actually, let's get out of here, like in the
Huh,
middle of the road, at the middle of buildings, because we saw that we want to line up for another place, and we pressed cancel pickup. It stopped right then and there, let us out, and so
wow.
it works. Okay, so here's what the app looks like. This is coming, and then so basically this code is in will be uploaded to our phones, to our app. So it's curious, just sets it up that when it's time for us to put the car into the Robotaxi network, we would be ready. The Tesla Robotaxi client has, which is the app, has code for a call driver button. Could this
Mm.
mean non-driverless markets will be able to join the rideshare network too? Non-driverless markets will be able to join the ride call driver. I don't know.
Oh, I think the question Omar is asking is, does this mean it'll work as an Uber app for markets with with just cars?
Mm,
For the markets where FSD doesn't exist in a driverless fashion, where it is not level 4 or 5,
mm,
then
I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't know.
that would be really weird if they did that. So you
Oh,
can. Mhm.
call driver. I get it. Well, Uber has that where you can call the driver while they're on their way, but what are you gonna do? Have a chat with Grok? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. Curious. I just can't see that Tesla will launch this and say, hey, we have a Uber version and a non-Uber version, Robotaxi and a human-driven one. That's would be weird marketing. Uh, Smart Summon works really well right now. I'm using it a lot whenever I'm at a restaurant and my car is parked in a parking lot. I summon the car to pick us up at the front, and then, but now you don't have to hold the button down. That's what this app will be able to do. So that's a good feature.
Smart Summon is I stopped using it early on because I would only use it when it was, like, rainy and gross, and that
Hmm.
is when it has the highest probability of just stopping, and, after twice having to run through a parking lot to stop blocking traffic, I decided I wasn't going to use it when
Oh,
there was many people around, but, of course, since then, it's worked flawlessly every time. On the walk out from the movie theater,
yeah.
it's at the mall. The parking is never great. So I summon the car up to the
Meet
front
you
door
halfway. Hmm.
and if it came any closer to where I was, it would have been on the sidewalk. So I'm happy with where it came to. And
Hmm.
all I love seeing people's reactions
Yeah.
to an empty car rolling up and you hopping into the driver's seat.
Yeah,
The future's here,
exactly.
baby.
He was just here. Okay, let's take a look at these other spy shots. So Joe Techmeyer, famous for taking drone shots, he actually visits Giga Texas every 2 days and takes drone shots of anything that's changed. He's been showing us all of these new CyberCab or these new castings, which he actually has been told that these are CyberCabs.
Mm,
And these new ones are the front underbody. We've seen rear CyberCabs, and now we think these are the front ones. There's at least 305 of them. They've now been made based on the markings on each casting. Also, these are listed as RTTX, possibly for Robotaxi Texas. I don't know what WG8 identifiers. These are no more markings visible. Also, note the rear castings are identified as RSF, rear subframe, which is
mm,
different from the Cybertruck and Model Y, which are referred to as rear underbody.
mm.
So, anyways, just he's just pointing out that there's more and more of these different kinds of cyber castings that are appearing.
Mhm. So let me add some context for that because that's why I'm here.
That's why you're
Uh,
here.
I said this is indicative of upcoming volume production in a short time. And someone said, no, 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 Brian, you misunderstand. If the line can do 5 cars, a car every 5 seconds, they're going to need to start stockpiling these because the cycle time on the casting machines is significantly longer than 5 seconds. And I said, no, there's
Hmm.
no way on earth they're going to be stockpiling hundreds of thousands of these. The space is is unacceptably large that they would require. We haven't seen any preparation that would lead us to believe that they're stockpiling an ungodly amount of castings. The casting is something you definitely need to do before production, but you want to, yeah, you want to get it done. This tells me CyberCab will be entering production sooner than any of the critics think, any of the skeptics think, and maybe sooner than I think, because I was thinking we wouldn't see any serious volume until maybe the end of the year. And this tells me it may be in Q3 that we see real volume. And I don't think they would be moving full steam ahead if we were still chasing the endless nines and didn't know how many nines remained until we were good enough to get on the road safer than a human. I think internally they know what they've got and it is solved. So I think that's what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been hearing kind of both sides, right? So that it's not uncommon to see hundreds of these things now. It's a brand new vehicle, a brand new factory process, right? The unboxed model. They're going to need to create this for, vehicle testing, just make thousands of them really to really get, to even just confirm. So
the trick is we don't know what's normal. We don't see endless drone shots from other factories, from other car companies. And the only other companies using big castings are in China. And we don't have the kind of information we would need to make a qualified assessment of whether or not, of exactly what this could and should mean. So we are still kind of flying blind.
That's a very good point. So what we do know, okay, so we have heard both Lars and Franz say that there will be CyberCabs in June. So maybe there's a few, right? Which I'm expecting. Not zero and not hundreds per se, not in the first month necessarily, right?
I think you're right.
They've already confirmed that it's going to be Model Ys in the very first day one, and probably they'll introduce them slowly. That makes all sense, right? You introduce everything so new that you want to just do one new thing each week, each month, just do it slowly. But this is, like, I think you're right. This is giving a lot of confidence that maybe we're certainly more likely that we're going to get to full scale of CyberCab production next year. That was a concern. And now we're going, it's looking like at least that is for sure. Whether or not we'll see hundreds of CyberCabs in this year, which I actually think we're probably going to see now, that's up for debate. But who knows?
And that's the thing, is there's only one piece missing. Can they manufacture it? Yes, we know they can. There's no miracle tech in the manufacturing process. The door panels are not revolutionary. The castings are not.
It's a new material.
Yes, but it's not. It's not like dealing with, ultra thick stainless steel. This is a process that does already exist. It just hasn't been used in this way before. I'm not as worried about that. And if the doors didn't work, great. We'll just put regular sheathing on instead. There's a lot of ways to solve. Well, plastic's going to fade and break. And look, buddy, your bumpers have been made out of plastic for 30 years. I haven't heard you complain. Don't make stuff up just to sound cool. But yeah, this means there's just one piece of the puzzle missing. And it may be that piece is already there. And it's just, we're going to find out next month. And the fact that the countdown points to June 1st instead of June 30th is very encouraging.
It's very encouraging. That's for the Robotaxi launch, but CyberCab's another one. Anyways, we're seeing more and more and more.
This is the excitement is that if it's Model Ys that roll out on June 1st, they're done. CyberCab can be made. That's the missing piece, is the autonomy. So if that network launches in a month, open the floodgates, baby.
Yep, for sure. So, yeah, CyberCab's the cherry on top. Or you could say it's the big deal, but of course, it's, you don't need it. You can just go with Model Ys all day long, all you want, and you'll be just fine. So we're seeing more and more. This isn't the first time Joe Tegmar showed these spy shots almost every, I don't know, I'd like to say once a week now. We're seeing loads and loads of this, hundreds of them, hundreds at a time of different kind of castings. And we saw the front end. Now we saw the rear end. Yeah, we're all guessing what they could be. Okay. Next big announcement. This one's real. This one's not, hinting and not us guessing, because Tesla North America launched this. They said now that the new Model Y, the long range rear wheel drive, is now available in the US. Maximum range, more affordable, 357-mile range, 37,490 if you include the 7,500 federal tax credit. So this is the rear-wheel drive, which they had offered with the legacy model, but they had, obviously when they introduced a new vehicle, they had to wait until we have offered this. It is starting price is $44,990, 357, 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds. This is the new rear-wheel drive here. You can see that here. And the long-range all-wheel drive is $48,990, so it's $4,000 difference to get all-wheel drive. And if you look at the comparison of the old versus the new rear-wheel drive, they're both priced at the same amount, but the new one actually has a lot more range, 20 miles more range, faster, 5.4 seconds instead of 6.5, and all other upgrades on the new Model Y. They're all there, including the speakers. The sound system is much better. So, just everything just got improved. I mean, range, speed, and all these new features.
So let's leave that slide up for a second because I want to go through it. That starting price, $44,990. What a terrible deal. Tesla always lies about. Okay, so when the Model Y was originally unveiled in 2019, the target price was $39,000. If you take 2019 prices and adjust it for inflation, I just looked it up, 48,784 is what the base Model Y should start at. And it doesn't. It's less than that. It's more affordable. And the original base price is a car they never even made because Elon determined the range is unacceptably low. It was like 220 or something like that. Something genuinely terrible. So we are getting, and it didn't have rear infotainment. It didn't have matrix headlights. It didn't have all, ventilated seats. It didn't have all these premium things and the premium sound. For 45,000 minus the incentive is a heck of a deal. The only thing you're really losing is the 0 to 60 is now normal good, still pretty good, as opposed to absurd. I mean, 5.4 seconds for reference, a 99 Viper had a 0 to 60 of 4.9 seconds. So you're almost in supercar from our lifetime range. And really you are. That's faster than a 90s Ferrari right there. It is one heck of a deal. But I need really good traction control. Electric cars on ice do really well. I think it was Jim Spencer, the Iowa Tesla guy, took out his rear-wheel drive Model 3 in the snow the first time he had a good opportunity and said, let's film it. Let's see how bad it is. And he went to a parking lot and he couldn't get it to lose control because they're just that good. So this is a heck of a bargain. I see, in my view, no compromise, $4,000 off.
That's amazing. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen for sales? You were saying earlier to me that this is a big deal. It's going to sell really well, but it's
the other thing I wanted to point out, I just realized I forgot to mention this, is that extra 20 miles of range, that 357 miles of range, that's legit range. That's not the old test cycle. The EPA updated their test cycle to make it more accurate, and Tesla's gotten a little more realistic with their numbers. You are likely to actually get 350 on this. So it's much more efficient. What do I think is going to happen to sales? I think it's going to unlock a lot of them. Maybe not as many as performance. I was expecting them to release performance first, then go to rear-wheel drive, and hopefully at some point give me my third row, because I can't pull the trigger without that. So this will, right now, there are a lot of people who are very cost conscious. So people want affordability. There's a lot of chaos in the market, in the economy. And I think low cost is always going to be a winner, and $4,000 off, man, that's really hard to beat.
Yeah, first of all, this year is crazy for Tesla. They're just launching one vehicle after another. Just unbelievable how many vehicles they are launching this year. It's crazy. And so in terms of segmentation though, right, when you think about that, that's very important. You got the Model Y, you got the Model 3, you got these more affordable vehicles. You have this Model Y, and then you've got this rear wheel drive at 44,000, call it $45,000. $45,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Model 3s, and then you've got these new more affordable vehicles. I just want to be sure that, with the rear wheel drive Model Y, it's enough of a separation. I mean, obviously they've had it for a long time. This isn't brand new. They've done it with the legacies, but you know what I mean? It's got to be a real separation with the more affordable vehicles that are built off the possibly more likely the Model Y.
Well, I'll tell you why I think they made the rear-wheel drive before the Performance. They want it for the Taxi in June.
This is going to be the car that they want more of this. This will be more likely the
Yeah,
Taxi in June.
we want a little bit more range. We don't need the horsepower, but we do want all the creature comforts. This is the perfect Model Y for the Robotaxi fleet. And really, the Model Y is probably the best vehicle for the
Yeah,
Robotaxi fleet apart from the CyberCab because
yeah.
it's the most affordable. And so they've made it for themselves, which would, but customers will buy it too. But why, if we're going to put out hundreds, maybe thousands of these, why would we want to spend the extra? I mean, we can tailor make it for ourselves and then just sell it to customers too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you did a whole show, you interviewed a number of CyberCab Tesla executives and employees, and you learned a lot,
Engineers, yeah, yeah,
engineers. And what you learned was that when they purpose built the CyberCab, they're very careful or they realize that they don't need, they want it to go slow. They want it to, they don't need it to drive very far. And all these things unlock just the way that they build it, right? Affordability, cost, all that. And so this one, you're saying that if they just rear wheel drive, but still maintain a 300 plus range, and then they could have lowered the price a little bit more, but they didn't.
I think the price reduction is appropriate. I'm the first to complain when the price reduction is ridiculous, like the new version of the Cybertruck with just rear-wheel drive and all the features stripped out,
Yeah.
30,000 of utility loss. We'll give you 10 grand off. I expect them to sell literally dozen of those before people say this is not for me.
Yeah. But rear wheel drive versus all wheel drive, that's all you need. I mean, it's all you need if you're selling it to cities that are not, the winter cities.
But the winter cities, people really think they need all-wheel drive more than they do. Rear-wheel drive in an electric vehicle is going to give you enough stability, enough traction
Mm.
control. And if you're going to break loose on rear-wheel drive in the snow, that's not snow. That's like greased ice.
Yeah, right, right. Okay, well there you go. So we'll see, right? We got these spy shots of the actual potentially a more affordable vehicle, which we're hoping to see. Here we have something. We have one first spy shot. We don't know what that is. Looks like a compact car. We've got the software update. That's for sure. That's for real. You can really see that almost always when they discover these things, they turn out to be true because it's built into software. Project Alicorn, it's got the features. Curious to see why they're launching that to our apps so soon, but it's just maybe one app. Are you still thinking that it's going to be one app, or is it the Tesla app? Or is it going to be a very different app called,
Mhm.
Tesla Robotaxi?
I think it's going to be
Cybercab.
in the app we already have because I think they want to draw people into the ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay.
And just because once it's already on your phone, it makes it easier to expand. Then they can market to you more easily. I don't know. They could do a variety of things, but yeah, and I think they want it in that same app so that people like me who have no intent to rent out my car ever could still already have that app. So I don't have to think about it when I go to another town and want to rent. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll have
That
the
probably makes
Uber.
sense, right? Because
Yeah.
if it's a robo-taxi service, then you're thinking like an Uber. You open up the app and then you choose, and you get somebody come to you. But maybe if you own your own car, but why can't you, even though it's not part of the robo-taxi, still pick me up, enter my destination,
Yeah.
still pull over, still do
Nobody
all the
wants
things
to
you would do.
download another app, not
Yeah.
another. Come on, don't make me do this.
Interesting.
This this whole app could have been a web page, and what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, wouldn't you like your service to go live with hundreds of thousands, nay, millions of users already on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, we'll see what happens there. Appreciate you, Brian. Follow Brian on his YouTube channel, FutureAza. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.